Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. We're taking a quick look at the top staking coins I feel are going to be worth investing in this quarter. And ideally, if you want to see more of this content, feel free to comment below. Let me know if you like what you're seeing here. But the whole point of this is to give you a good return on investment for not just buying the dip, but also an APY percentage that can get you a good reward as well in the meantime while you're just kind of sitting on this longer term investments. Bear in mind, these should be considered longer term investments because they could continue lower, but I'm confident these will probably 2 to 5x sometime later this year. But more importantly, you'll get some APY percent in the meantime. All right, so starting off with Avalanche here. This coin is very strong in the overall sense as far as its macro perspective. We take a look here, we're going to be looking at the weekly charts here, and we can recognize the macro support is at 1730 support range here. That's based on volume. That's considered to be a point of control, but also we have a local double bottom here if you exclude the little candle wick down to 15. And generally speaking, this coin, I cover it honestly almost every single day. It's a strong return investment. I think it averages somewhere in the range of about 4% APY. The next up here is Ethereum. Now, this coin is getting dumped on lately with just how terrible it is. It's truthfully a very terrible coin to trade right now. So if you do invest in this one, even though it is blue chip or just considered to be a good investment overall, I wouldn't expect monumental returns. But I would say that the APY percentage is close to about 4%. It's a decent coin to consider investing in, just as kind of like a passive income source on the side. Now, are you going to get rich off Ethereum? Probably not. But it is good, stable in a sense, and we don't think it's going to, I don't believe it's going to go anywhere. And it is reaching its macro support because we zoom in here a little bit within the last couple of years, basically last 4 years of trading, we're right there averaging out about 1600. So 1600 is that average price where we should start to see its average true ranging in that area. Okay, so I think we're getting closer to its bottom. My thoughts, honestly, is like the $1,200 to $1,500 range is a good area to consider investing. Okay, so this is a good one, decent APY as well. Once again, closer to 4%. Near Protocol has a very similar percentage. It's about 4% as well. This has a nice little macro support range here. Once again, we haven't seen the price action of 150 just yet. I think we've come down as low as about $2, but the general consensus here is that we've seen the most amount of volume accumulation at 150, and that's a very good area of support. We're also seeing a type of triangle pattern here, tentatively breaking out here, and effectively in a position where we could see the return on investment. Okay, so this is a approaching double bottom, decent little triangle pattern, but more importantly, a decent APY. I think this is also ranging close to 3 to 4%. Now we're getting a little bit higher on our APYs for this next couple, and this is Salana, starting off with the very first one. There are only two on this list here, the 5 to 9%, but I can tell you that Salana is a very strong coin just in general. It is a blue chip coin, and I believe, because I cover this coin every single day if you're not familiar, and it has tremendous potential. It has a significant amount of support in the 110 to 120 range. So I think that we're getting really close to its tentative bottom, but the APY percentage on this is 7, in some cases 8 to 9%, depending on the exchange. So it's a pretty good APY. I personally have Solana that I have in my spot bag for a long-term hold. So it's a perfect, sensible thing to stake because I feel like it's a good return on investment. I'm confident this coin will be $200 to $300 in the relative near future, possibly even sometime this year. And if so, I think we can see at least a 2 to 3x return on investment, but also earning some nice APY in the meantime. Next one up here, this is a controversial one for a lot of people because people do dislike in the comments whenever I cover this coin, but I can tell you the APY percentages rivals Solana. It's right there in the 7 to 8% range. It's hitting a triple bottom here right now. And while this coin moves to the downside more frequently than it moves up, I think there's a decent chance we're going to see a recovery here in the relative near future. So I have a decent amount of spot bag in the $3 to $5 range here for this coin, and I think it might be worth considering an entry here. Once again, the APY percentage is pretty close to about 7%. Now we're getting into the higher tiers here as far as APY, but these become exponentially more risky as you continue to invest. So you got to recognize when APY percentage goes high, the return on investment for the coin itself can effectively be lower. Okay, so even though I love Atom and Cosmos, it's a very good coin. It's seen better days. Okay, but it does have a triple bottom. Hasn't broken free from its descending trend line, nor has it broken free from its point of control, so you may not get a significant return, but the APY in this bad boy is somewhere in the 10 to 12% range. It's pretty good. It's a coin that I make a decent amount per month on for just, you know, having a spot bag on the side, and I think there's a decent chance, because if you look at this here, no less than 4 months ago, we were at $10. Okay. Now, not to say we're going to be there in 4 months, but the potential for that is higher, considering we are double bottoming here and starting to see a lot of volume increase at the 450 range. So this is a good consideration. The last consideration would be LPT, which is live peer, if I'm not mistaken. This one has somewhere in the range of about 15% or 14%. This one is a significantly high amount of APY, but you have to recognize that it just double bottomed 2 weeks ago. And while there's decent potential to continue lower, there's also a significant amount of return consideration here as well. I mean, you look at this here back in December, we're up in the $20 to $25 mark for this coin. So you could easily 5x this coin if it decides to get back on track and effectively continue higher after breaking free from its falling wedge pattern. And just to clarify too, so you can kind of see here, LPT, there we are, about roughly 14%. And most of this is available on Binance.us/staking. This is just an example of the staking rewards, but it is still relevant to help you understand kind of a visual representation of the coins we just covered. Not all of these are on here, but they are, for the most part, available for you there, so you can kind of see that. But those are the coins that I have. If there's anything I missed, why don't you go ahead and comment below, let me know. And if you do like this kind of content, I'll make sure to bring this to us moving forward here on a more consistent basis. And you let me know what your thoughts are. I really appreciate you joining me here once more. Thanks again so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.